Judge says Matthew Naidoo portrayed arrogance in court, and Mjongile dismisses Grant's allegations as baseless. With the news this hour, I'm Gyanda. Durban High Court Judge Gyanda says convicted double murderer Matthew Naidoo portrayed arrogance in court. Earlier today, Gyanda sentenced Naidoo to 2 life sentences for the murders of Johannes and Maria Lotter. Naidoo's former girlfriend Nicolette and her brother Hardis Lotter will each serve 10 and 12 years in prison respectively. Gyanda rejected an appeal by Naidoo's lawyer Vijay Shivakumo that his client could be rehabilitated. Gyanda said rehabilitation can only work in cases in which people admit guilt.
The essence of rehabilitation encompasses a person, first of all, admitting his fault, showing remorse, and then starting on the road to rehabilitation. You can't rehabilitate a person who hasn't offended. It just doesn't make sense. If you haven't offended, you haven't offended. Who's going to rehabilitate you and how? It's impossible.
Western Cape ANC Secretary Songezo Mjongile says Provincial Education Minister Donald Grant's allegations are baseless. Earlier, Grant said that the current wave of protest in Grabo in the Overberg were politically motivated. Violent protests broke out again in the area earlier today. Residents of the Slanghoek informal settlement blockaded the N2 with burning tires and rocks to demand the reopening of the Umiezo Wama-Apile combined school. Education authorities shut it down last week after residents complained of overcrowding. Mjongile explains.
Obviously, the accusation by the minister are very unfortunate because we'll have expected him that where there are problems that the government will be responsive in attending to the real issue, which is overcrowding, and the fact that they have been promising that community a school, which they have not delivered to date. And we find him to be really making very irresponsible remarks on a very important issue that is about the future of young people.
The closed meeting between expelled ANC Youth League leader Julius Malema and Northwest Provincial Executive Committee members has ended. It's not clear what they discussed, but sources close to the ANC believe Malema has been lobbying for a possible political solution to his disciplinary action. Malema was accompanied by the League's Deputy President Ronald Lamula, General Secretary Sindiso Magaqa and spokesperson Floyd Shibambo. The Western Cape High Court has granted leaders of the IFP and COPE permission to petition the Supreme Court of Appeal. This follows the court's ruling against the party's decision to review the application brought before the court on government's handling of the Tibetan spiritual leader, the Dalai Lama's visa application to attend the Archbishop Emeritus Desmond Tutu's 80th birthday last year. The Dalai Lama had to cancel his trip to South Africa following alleged delays to his process for applying for the visa. IFP and COPE leaders Mangosuthu Buthelezi and Musia Likota then took the government to court. However, Judge Dennis Davis turned down their application for a review. SABC senior parliamentary journalist Mercedes Besant reports.
An earlier court decision by Judge Dennis Davis ruled against Prince Buthelezi and Lekota. Davis had dismissed the application of what the IFP calls the persistent denial of an entry visa to the Dalai Lama. This prompted the two-party leaders to apply for leave to appeal against Davis's ruling. They have now been granted leave to petition the Supreme Court of Appeal. The Dalai Lama made international headlines in October last year when he cancelled his visa application to attend former Anglican Archbishop Desmond Tutu's 80th birthday. The last-minute cancellation followed a delay in the processing of his visa.